just for everyone that is here, if you guys want to, it'd be really beneficial if you could pop your cameras on. So if I know if you're following along and I know you're playing, that would be, well, really ideal. Oh, Mark, nice. Is that an acoustic set? Is that an acoustic set?
Yeah, it's acoustic,
Nice.
but
Nice.
it's muffled with pads.
Yeah, I remember when my first drum educator, Mr. Lloyd Martin, I used to go and have drum lessons at his house in a residential neighborhood, and he had the pads all over it. I remember the first experience of playing on one of those was awfully strange. Now we've got the technology, and it makes little noise. Still annoys the wife, that's for sure. But we get by.
That's what I have. 30
An
years
annoyed
old.
wife and a quiet drum kit. Welcome to the club. Nice one. All right. Well, let's crack on. Today, we're going to be looking at kick drum coordination, right? We've got a few fun little exercises, or you could call them experiments, ways to kind of tease your brain and try and get the whole coordination aspect running while getting really frustrated at yourself. In fact, the first thing that we're going to take a look at was proposed to me by one of my mates who's a bass guitar player. And he said, have you ever tried to do this? And he ran me through this exercise, and when I started trying to do it, it frustrated me, and it's something that seems like innocuous and simple, but essentially, what we're going to try and do, and I'm going to let you guys give this a try, we're going to play with all four of our limbs at the same time. So you'll have your left foot on your hi-hats, your right foot on your kick drum, and you're going to be hitting with both of your hands at the same time. Now, every second note, we're going to remove one of our limbs, right? So we'll hit all together, and then the next one, we're going to remove our kick drum and play our hi-hats, our snare, and our floor tom. And then we play them together. And then the next time, we're going to remove our hi-hat and play those together, right? And then we bring them all back in, and then we remove our snare, and then we bring them all back in, and we remove our floor tom, right? So we're just going to try and run through that. Now, I haven't done this for quite some time. Well, actually, since he mentioned it to me. So I think we're all going to probably struggle with this together. I'm going to run through it once, and feel free to join in. We are going to go really slow so that I don't mess this up, which I'm probably still going to. So let's give this a try.
Right, before we do, just if you want to just mute everybody because people are going to come through. A few people aren't muted. There should be a mute all button somewhere up there.
Mute all. I'm just going to go through one by one. Oh, there we go. Oh, it was just one. Thanks, Chris. All right, let's give this a try. I'll start. You can join in. Oh, that's difficult. Did anyone manage to get that first time? It's like rubbing your belly and patting your head at the same time.
I'm watching that and I'm like not even sure if I could get that the first time, Brett. I'm like my brain's like, wait, what are we doing? Which one's happening? Where I was going to get behind the kit, but I'm not going to embarrass myself. So
give it a try, Chris. Please
it is
yourself for me. You have no idea what was going through my head when I was trying to do that. Take it nice and slow. So it's all together, and then we remove the kick drum, and then all together, and then we remove the hi-hats, and then all together, and then we remove the snare drum, and then all together, and then we remove the floor tom. Oh. Anyway, How's it all going? How's that going for everyone? I can see by the lack of how many of you are playing, it's probably not going too well.
I could kind of do it when you were doing it really slowly and telling us what to do each time, but as soon as you start doing it, and I have to try and think for myself which ones to include and which ones to drop, I'm gone.
Anyone else having any luck, any success? I think I can hear Chris doing it in the background.
I'm trying. I'm thinking. We'll be sending this to everybody in an ebook anyway, so you'll have it written out as well. So if it's the kind of thing that it helps to have something visual, because I'm definitely one of those people, right? Seeing the visual thing, then that's something that you'll get afterwards. So don't worry, you'll have that afterwards.
Yeah, without the help that you say which one to take out, no chance.
Yeah, it's funny because when I wrote this out originally and I looked at it, just all these eighth notes back to back, it was actually, I found it more difficult to decipher in that context, right? Because you just got these 4 notes and one random, one removed. Well, of course, in the process, kick drum, hi-hat, left hand, floor tom. But it's just a fun little activity. It's one of those things, it's like a brain teaser. You know, you sit down, you want to give something a try, get frustrated with yourself a little bit, but when you come out on top, it feels really good. But let's get warmed up. All right, we're gonna be focusing on kick drum coordination today, and it is, at least in my opinion, the most important independence that you can achieve on the drum kit. Right, it is the anchor of almost every single groove that we'll learn to play. You know, we can get sidetracked and see the star in our eye when we want to learn some fills, but at the end of the day, when you listen to music, 90% of the time you're going to be listening to the drummer. He's going to be playing some sort of groove. And that kick drum, that pattern generally is the thing that translates or relates to what's going on either on the bass guitar or what's happening rhythmically in the music. So it's the thing that we want to be really strong with and have that ability to just kind of place it anywhere. So we're going to look at that, but we're going to get warm first. And the way that we're going to get warm is a slightly innocuous warm-up. We're just going to be playing 4 notes on our floor tom, and then 4 notes on our high tom. And in between each of those notes, we're going to put a kick drum. Right? So we're just going to go 1, 3, 4, 1, E, and 2, E, and now over time, we're going to start trying to increase the tempo. And ideally, our goal should be to get to about 100 BPM at 16th notes. So playing it 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and all right, I'm going to start gradually increasing the tempo. Stop at this tempo, nice and comfortable, hopefully. And if you're feeling ambitious, you can start moving your hands around the kit. I'm not going to do that. I'm not feeling too ambitious, but you feel free to do that. Remember, you always want to focus on nice, clean, even note placement. Try to keep your dynamics even with your hits on your toms and your kick drum nice and strong each time. But most importantly is just that articulation with your spacing of your notes. Want to give us a listen there, Mark? See what it sounds like. How's it going?
Okay, so far.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Can you hear it?
Ah. No, we cannot hear it, unfortunately. That will be the original Sound for Musicians problem.
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh, you've got it. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, if you want to just crack that on.
Should we move over to somebody else while Mark's just doing that?
Yeah, might as well. I see Stephen's still going pretty strong. Oh, well, here we go.
So,
Let's have a listen there.
you hear it?
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
Nice. When you're doing it, just as an FYI, when you're doing it with your right hand, it's nice and clean, even spacing of notes. But I noticed it when you switch to your left hand,
All right.
the kick drum seemed to come ever so slightly late. So all I want you to do is just focus on that and try it again. Let's just go with your left hand. And I want you to really focus on that even spacing of notes. That's good. And what you'll find, right, is just when it comes to these things, it's just that subtle shift in perspective, just noticing the chink in your armor. I think that's what Mike Johnston used to say. You just notice the little chink, and as soon as you notice it and you're aware of it, then your focus shifts and it kind of auto-corrects. So, yeah, when you're doing your left hand, just focus on that a little bit.
All right, thanks.
Nice one, Mark. Good stuff. Steve, I see you're ready.
I'm always ready. I think my armor is probably more chink than armor, but let's see.
Let's see. Yep, it sounds great, man. Nice and even. It's really nice.
Okay, good.
Pete, is that Peter? Yeah, I see you cracking away. You want to give us a listen? You're muted.
You can request to unmute as well, Brett, if you click
Luke?
on.
Yeah. There we
You
go.
hear me now?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay, hi. Well, hello from Thailand.
Oh, nice, nice.
Not really, it's
I
11
visited
o'clock
when I
here.
was younger.
11 p.m. Yeah, okay, so I'm just warming up. I'm sorry I'm late.
Perfect. This is what this section is for, is just to get warm.
Okay.
Peter,
Yeah, I
have
know.
you activated the original Sound for Musician setting by any chance?
Oh,
Have
hang
you
on, what's that?
activated it previously?
What does that mean?
Original Sound for Musicians. It's a setting on Zoom.
Are you on a PC or an iPhone? What device are you on?
I'm on a MacBook.
A MacBook. Okay, perfect. All right, we can do it super quick. On the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little up arrow where the audio setting is.
Yeah.
And if you click on audio setting and scroll down ever so slightly, and anyone else that hasn't got this set up, it's a good time to do this now as well.
Oh, it's on Sound for Musicians.
That's the one. Click that one.
Uh-huh.
And then come off of that white box. And then in the top right-hand corner, it should now
Hang
say
on.
Original Sound for Musicians off. If we click that, it's going to turn
On.
on, hopefully. Yeah?
Yeah, it's on.
There you go. And if you hit the drums now, we should be able to hear some stuff coming out. We've got some coming out. Yeah, that's good. Just hit it a little bit harder. Perfect. That's all we need to hear.
Perfect.
That's great.
Chris, I must say I love having you here, man. This is.
And you can still hear me talking.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
perfect.
it's perfect.
Oh, that's wonderful. Really good.
Let's go.
Again, oh my God.
Yep, nice and even. I'm sure you noticed the transitional points at the beginning were a little bit shaky, but then smoothed it out nice and quickly. And last one, Karen. I see you there. Don't worry. Shall we have a listen? Hello, hello.
Yeah, I don't. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Karen, yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. And I see, Alex, you've got into your drum kit ever so quickly.
Hi, Brett.
How's it going? Good to see you again.
Yeah,
You
good
want to
to
give
see
this a
you.
try?
Just getting the-
Use this
Yeah,
as your
yeah.
warm-up.
Yeah, I was in the kitchen. Now I'm at my drums. Is the left hand on the hi-hat?
The high tom. So you got floor tom, high tom. But to be honest, your left hand can go anywhere. Oh,
What did you say?
I said your left hand could go. It really could go anywhere, but just for now, we'll do floor tom, high tom.
Okay.
Beautiful. It's wonderful. Yeah, and I think for everyone, just as like I said, you really want to start increasing the tempo with this. Like, find that comfortable tempo where it feels like a little bit of a struggle, but you're not, your notes aren't falling out of place too much, right? And just continuously try to increase that tempo and get really comfortable with this. And if you think about it, right, if you play this as 16th notes and you're counting it 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, technically, if you moved your right hand just onto the hi-hats, you would be practicing playing your kick drum on all of those weak notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, right? Which are generally the more difficult notes to play when we start grooving. You could switch between your right and your left hand. You could move your right hand onto the right. It's just one of those little innocuous exercises, but it's a lot of fun. Now, let's get to what we're here for. First, I'm going to play a song, right? I just want to make sure that you can all hear this. Let me know. Oh, let's play.
Probably turn it up ever so slightly, bro. Just a tad.
Yeah. Is that good? Is that good?
A little bit louder.
A little bit louder. Well, I don't know if I can go any louder. Let me
I think it should be okay. Your drums will just be a little bit louder, but that's not going to be the end of the world.
Sure, I think that's actually the max volume I've got any. Oh, wait. That might do it. Right, so when we listen to this, I just want to make one thing nice and clear. The snare drum is going to be on beats 2 and 4, and the hi-hats are playing 8th notes. So each time when you're counting along and you're hearing the groove or you're hearing the guitar, you're going to be hearing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And of course, the kick drum is going to be placed all over the bar, right? Now, I want you to listen and try to notice where the kick drum is. It's in the 16th note subdivision, so you'll be listening for 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and your kick drum's going to be somewhere on there. I'm going to play it for, let's say, 30 seconds. if anyone thinks they figured out the groove where the kick drum is placed, I want you to unmute and just let me know. I'll pause the music and we can see. All right? Let's have a listen. All right. Anyone got any ideas of where that kick drum is placed? I mean, if you just tell me beat 1, you're not going to win any prizes for that because yes, of course the kick drum falls on beat 1. 1, 2. Any indication of where it might be thereafter? I'll give you a clue. There is one in the 16th notes of beat number 2. Steve, let's hear it.
I thought it was on 3 and, but that can't be right.
There actually is a kick drum on 3 and. There is one that's before that, though. There's one that comes a little bit before that, right? Right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
So 3 and 3 and.
Near. Really, really close. It's on.
Maybe play it, Brett. Just play the groove by itself. See if we can get it without. It's a little bit easier when you can see it.
Let's have a listen, yeah. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
I reckon Alexandra knows. She's going to type something. You can just
see her leaning in there.
Well, unmute yourself, Alexandra. Let's go for it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, I can't even write it. I was thinking a 3.
I agree. A 3.
Wow. I think.
I love the sound of your kick drum, first of all. You've added something in that makes it sound, I mean, even better than the original. There is only one, yeah. On the...
Just the Just the yeah, okay.
Just the that's the one.
Yeah, I just
And
added it because it was easier to play.
I think maybe for you, right? It is slightly more difficult usually to get that 1 and 2 and 3 to get that fast double. Nice.
Thanks.
I think this is the point of this workshop as well, guys, is that like for Alexandra, that's easier. For someone else, that isn't, and it's probably different muscle memory points that you've personally worked on, right? So I might find a groove easier than another groove, but that's probably because you played that more at some point, right? Or you just naturally lean towards that because it's a song that you're familiar with or something like that, right? So the whole point of what Brett's kind of running through is that then you hit those different coordinational points that you might not be as familiar with, right, Brett?
Yeah, completely. And we all have our go-tos as well, things that we've practiced more than others, right? There'll be specific grooves that we've all spent time with, and those things become easier to us because they just become internalized. And it's why generally you want to run through these different, you want to experiment with a bunch of different grooves. And I always say the experimentation process is the most important part of the process, right? Is to find different grooves with the kick drum placed on these odd beats and turn your weaknesses into strengths, essentially. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play through the groove a little bit. And I want you to join in, get comfortable with it, and we'll see how it goes. I'll do it for about a minute, and then we'll move on and take a look at another one. And 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and a 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and a 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and a 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and a 3, and 4, and bum, bum. All right, let's take a look at another one. See how it goes.
And for people that are finding things being scored easier, I'm just chucking all the scores in the chat. There's also a playback there for later on. You'll get this emailed afterwards, but again, people on YouTube, I'm putting the links in there for you as well. So you've got that to kind of refer back to.
100%. And what I'll do is I'll actually put the score up as well. For the next group, when we start playing through it, I'll put the score on the screen so that we can all actually have a look at it. Sorry, just bear with me while I get the next song up.
Whilst Brett's doing that, I think for those of you that, if that still feels uncomfortable, I think that one of the things that we've looked at for those of you who've been in the workshops before is we kind of breaking that down and slowing it down if we need to and putting it into bite-sized chunks, right? So if, for example, there's that pattern, let's just say, Alexandra, every time you want to go boom, and that's because that's in your muscle memory, right? So break down just beat 2 and 2 and 3, and break that little bit down, okay? And make sure I've got my drum kit on, have I? But yeah, 2 and 3 without 3, getting that kick in every time, because that's the thing that you want to do for you personally, right? And for those of you might be a different place that's a problem. Again, just kind of breaking it down in the parts that you need to do that. So, you ready, Brett?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go on, take over.
Lacquer. All right, let's have a listen. Again, same thing. This song's going to be snare drum on the backbeat, 2 and 4, 8th notes on the hats, and we're just going to listen out for where the kick drum is happening. I'm going to play this along, and we're going to see how it goes. So, here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, going to bring up the transcription.
Should we see if
I see
anyone
you
can
sent
guess
it in
first?
there. Oh yeah, sure.
I mean, I can't
Can
see
anyone
mine.
guess it?
I've-
See if anyone's got the idea of where it is. Yeah, let's go, Alex. I see you waving away.
I think it's 1, 2, and.
1,
Play it.
2, and. Not quite. Not quite. Close.
I
Okay.
thought it was 1 and the of 2 and the E of 3. I've forgotten now. The yeah, I think the E of 3.
Yeah,
Do you want
that's
to play
exactly
it now,
it.
Steve? Let's hear you play it. Nice.
Is that it?
Yeah, nice.
That's it.
Perfect.
Yeah, really good. Does anyone else want to play it? Feel free to unmute yourselves and play for it.
Yeah, please. Peter, I see that big smile, man. You must want to unmute and play it for us. Are you going to unmute just to tell me you don't want to do it?
Exactly. No, that's way above my head.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, let's give it. Let's have a try, right? If you just count along, let's do it without the snare drum, right? If you play your kick drum on 1, and we're gonna keep 8th notes on the hi hats. So we're gonna play 1 and 2 and then the kick drum comes between your hi hats. So like we were doing in that
yeah, that's
initial
what I heard.
exercise, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 E
3.
and 4 and right. So if you give that a try, just count it. You can even count it from 3.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And then all
Yeah,
you want to
I
do,
heard
of course,
that,
thereafter-
but you know, it's go. I do this, of course.
yeah, you never want to turn it into a blast beat, right? That's
No, I just. Yeah, I don't have that independence at all.
what, getting
and
that
put it
snare
in.
drum in.
Try and put it in, yeah. Like you're
Yeah, give it a
almost
try.
there.
I'm so proud I can do that with one snare beat already.
Well, let's give it a try. If you break it down in your head, right, and you go play 1 and 2, right? That all we've done is add in the snare on 2, and 3 E and 4 and.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Okay, go away, mouse. 1 and 2 and 3. Oh yeah. Again.
Nearly.
1 and 2 and 3 and.
Yeah, not so way above your level, is it now,
No, it's
Peter?
Yeah, it is. I can do that if I take 20 seconds for it. Yeah.
But that's perfect. That's exactly where we
But
need
yeah,
to
no,
start.
that's how to learn it. Yeah, I know. And this is really
100%.
interesting to do that. I'm definitely going to repeat that tomorrow.
Good.
Because
good.
I love to have that fast kick just before the 3. I love that on the after 2, the 2 E and
Yeah,
so
those
the
offbeats.
3. That's lovely how they do that, and that's really something I'm hoping to learn from this.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'm
from there you can just-
totally beginner. Okay, I'm really.
I'm sure you've had some experience. I can tell you've been playing for a little bit. It sounds good. You don't just sit down and play that first
No,
time.
it
Peter.
sounds great.
I know that's true. It's not my first time, but it's like I don't play regularly, and that's really the biggest mistake for learning drummers. You have to just sit behind the drums every day, even if it's only for 5 minutes.
You are completely correct. That 100%.
yeah.
Consistency is key. Just getting those 5 minutes in a day makes the world of a difference.
Yeah, I know. I have too many excuses. It's no good.
Karen, did you
Well,
want
I'm
to have
glad
a
you
go
come
at
here.
playing it as well? I know you mentioned there. Do you want to have a little go just so we can have a listen?
Yeah,
I
please.
think find it easier to sometimes, not going to count my eggs, to play it rather than say it, if you know what I mean, like write
Yeah.
it out. So I think it was like that, something like
Yeah.
that.
Perfect.
That's exactly it. That was perfect. You said that you find it easier to play it and not say it. Did I hear you correctly when you said that?
Yeah, I'm a bit
Yeah.
like I like to see it written out and I rely on that a lot more than being able to say whether it's at 3E or
Yeah,
I find it
that's-
easier
I'm-
to do that. Yeah.
Completely understandable. I mean, we all kind of learn in different ways, right? What I would suggest when it comes to that, then, if you find that you're a visual learner and you kind of put a lot of trust in having that transcription in front of you, would be to, I mean, keep on learning that way. If that gets you playing the part correctly, keep doing that. But try to start veering away from it, right? Like close your eyes or look away, get it right, and then turn your head and focus on something else. Well, even actually the best thing to do is to actually just focus on your drums, to stare at your drums or your kick drum or your snare drum while you're playing it, just to get it into that more into the muscle memory and into the hearing side rather than just the visual side. Yeah, nice one. Good stuff. Next, let's take a look at the next one. I should really have these things just lined up nice and quick. Got another one of Peter's favorites in there. I'm going to play through it, see if you can count along. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... and 2.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, let's see if you can play it. While I'm doing this, can anyone figure out where all these kick drums are? There's one extra one. So we've
And
had
don't
3 kick
cheat
drums.
and look at the transcription not put up yet either.
Yeah, that was a little bit premature there, Chris. One. If I just count the quarter, I'm gonna count the 8th notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and anyone figure that out? Well, I was going at it there.
I think we've got 1,
Yes.
the and of 2,
Yeah,
and then a 4 and 1.
that's exactly it. Yes. Well, let's hear it then. Let's hear it then, Steve.
Oh, I don't think I can play it. Let's try.
I think you can.
Yeah, I can't quite.
You've got
quite
that
remember
kick
my
drum on the
snares. Yeah.
Yeah, you just need to come down with that snare right after.
Yeah. Oh. So I got 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and. I feel
Not
like
not
something's
quite.
not quite right there. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of snare drums there.
Yeah. That's where I'm getting lost. Is where that snare goes. But it's on the 2 and the 4, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna play through it, and
Yeah.
oh, that was actually quite cool. There, getting that snare drum. I like that.
I'm
Classic
interested,
case,
Brett,
like-
just before we move
Yep.
on, Steve, because you've been obviously to multiple of the workshops with me and we've covered this type of thing, not this groove. let's break it down. I just want you to show everybody else like the way that we've broken this type of thing down, right? So the kick drums, I'm just going to remind you, because I know your brain's like, oh, we got the kick drum on the 1, the and of 2, 1 and 2 and 3, and the of 3, and then the and, right, of 4. So maybe go from beat 3 and 4 and just get it from that section. Just kind of show everyone that broken down and slowed down.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going 3 and 4 and.
And then remember what's on the 4.
Oh, the snare. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3 and 4 and.
Good, cool. And in this particular case, I'm not even sure if I can share my screen, but I think maybe I can. Yeah. Just got
nice.
the beat 3. There's no kick, right, on this one here.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it would be 3 and 4 and. No, I missed the snare.
Right.
So 3 and 4 and. But I missed the kick. So I keep iterating around until I get it right. 3 and 4 and.
Yeah. If we bring the transcription back up there,
Yeah,
Chris.
I'm just doing that. Yeah.
3 and 4. No. 3
That's right.
and 4 and.
That's it.
Okay, so there's no kick on 4. Actually, I thought there was a kick on 4 and. But yeah, 3 and 4 and.
And that's something that's actually really hard to differentiate, guys, when you haven't got headphones on, if that kick lands with that snare and the bass guitar that's going on, right? So that can be a really tough one to pick out, to be honest. And it totally makes sense that it can be hard. So that I understand, Steve, why you was finding that a little bit tricky, for sure.
Yeah, it can be either.
Yeah, and you could do that. Yeah. So put the whole groove together.
I'll try. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
And slow it down a little.
Yeah. 1 and 2 and 3.
I've got that in there.
No, there's nothing on there. Yeah.
No, I can't. I've lost it completely.
Okay, and then so the reason why I want to pause on this, guys, for everyone else to watch it, because it's all well and good somebody demonstrating something, get it right straight away. It's good that Steve isn't, because you guys are all going to have this with a different groove. Okay, so we're trying to break this down so that we can get it right and we can get past this obstacle. So when this happens, Steve, what should we do when we can't put it all together?
Well, we can slow it down.
Yeah.
We can break down a different part. So,
Yeah.
for example, I feel, for example, I can do the 1 and 2 and, right?
Yeah. Which you've got.
But-
so that's straight away and you're fine, yeah?
So that's okay. I'm struggling a little bit to transition between the 2 and 3 and.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here, I think probably I've got a little bit more work still to do going through the 3 and
Yeah, exactly.
4.
So keep going with that.
So I
yeah.
keep going
Yeah.
with that. Before.
And I think one of the things that was throwing you off was when you were chucking in a hi-hat on the of 2. I think if you were to actually just correct that and make sure that you keep those 8th notes on the hi-hats, I think you'll get that there first.
Right,
Well,
can you
nice
just
and
mute
quick.
Peter quickly?
There we go.
Yeah, so let's keep,
okay.
Steve, let's keep on it, right? And for
Yeah,
everybody
if
else,
that's okay,
watch,
yeah.
this is important, because everyone else, that even if you can play this, watch how Steve's breaking this down. For you do the same thing, because we've got lots of examples lined up you can go away and work on afterwards, right? The point of today is actually figuring out, well, when we're stuck on something, what do we do, yeah? So, as you said, Steve, I would even just work on beat 3
Yeah,
for a
3,
second.
yeah.
Yeah?
So beat 3 will be 3 and
Good, and do it a few times, a little bit slower.
3 and 3 and 3 and.
And you see what's important, what Steve's doing there is he's having a gap in between, so he's not just looping it, because that's not how it's going to loop. And the other thing, Karen, you were saying it's tricky to count. it's sometimes probably because you're trying to do everything. So if you just hone in on the 3 and you could probably do that, right? And then you can break down the part that you need. So sometimes it's easier to zoom out and just play it and hear it and play it. But the problem is once we come up against something that we get stuck coordinationally, then counting is going to be what helps us get through that most of the time. Yeah. Couple more times, Steve.
Yeah. 3 and 3 and 3 and.
Perfect.
Okay,
Now
can I
just
bring
do-
those two together? Is that-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and
Perfect. Keep going.
3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and.
Good. Okay. So now can everyone see Steve's worked on the bits that he needed to. He's now got the coordination right and he's practiced it correctly every time. Right? And do you remember the saying, Steve, that we say practice doesn't make perfect? Can you remember it?
No, I haven't practiced that.
Practice makes permanent, right? So if you keep doing it where the hi-hat goes in all the wrong places and the snare goes in the wrong places, that's the muscle memory you're going to get, and you're going to get confusion. Yeah. So what you've done there is perfect, and you can now do that a few more times if you were by yourself, right? But just to demonstrate the point, let's try and put the whole thing together.
Yeah. Okay. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
Perfect. There you go. That's it. And you see, by breaking that down, our brain's got the capacity to look at it in bite-sized chunks and actually do that. So just wanted to use you as an example there, Steve, because I know
thanks
you
for
know
that.
the process. But yeah, so continue, Brett.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks. That was nice. Well done there. All right. Shall we take a look? I see everyone else, we've got Mark, Peter kind of working our ways through it. We might as well try and take that process through. So, Peter, you look excited to try and to give it a try. Do you want to unmute and see if we can get this?
Yeah, I managed the 3 and 4, so that's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shall we have a listen?
Here we go again. Oh. That's the 3 and 4.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got
That's
the,
lovely.
the kick drum on the over there. That's perfect. When we're doing this groove, we want to get the kick drum placed. When we're looking at beat number 4, we've got it on the of beat number 4 there. I'm just going to bring it up here.
It's on the Oh. I have
Yep,
it on the
it's
end.
Right, so we've got it on the of beat number 3, which you played perfectly. It sounded great. Right, you were able to get that kick drum there placed on the of beat 3. It sounded really good placement of the kick drum. Let's try get that kick drum there on the and of beat number 4 as well.
I did that. Okay, again. Yeah, it's not consistent. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm missing the second kick every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah, but it sounded good. Of course, I mean, like Chris and Stephen were saying there, you want to make sure that you're practicing it correctly. That each time you want to make sure that you're getting that kick drum on the and like you said,
so
focus and just remain consistent with it.
So be slow down a little bit. I know. Yeah.
If you play the first 2 beats, I'm going to give the 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Slow it down just a little bit. Oh, that was good. There we go, again.
That's fine.
Perfect.
No, that's not good.
And that's a perfect example of why we don't want to. And I know
Yeah.
the temptation. This is the perfect example of why we don't just want to rush it and start going as quick as possible.
And
You've got to
looping.
resist
Guilty
the
as charged.
temptation.
And it's the
Yeah.
looping at that point, Peter, as well, right? So like it's you see when we was doing it with Steve, he gives himself a gap in between each time, okay? Because obviously it's going to loop differently once we put the full groove together. And just for those of you, again, if you're not sure what to do, I'm just doing some shameless plug-in here because it's just came to my attention that we have these here. The T-shirts, we made these T-shirts for a reason. Slow it down, count out loud, and break it down. And if you don't like the design, that's also fine because somewhere we have got one where Emma has got her caricatures on here as well and her avatars. And if you want, print screen that and put it up, print it out in front of you and do that. But look, that's the 3 steps really, right, that we want to do. And the break it down is only if you need it, but those are the steps. And honestly, if you take that with everything that you do, promise you'll get through it, okay? So we're always playing too fast, almost all of us, all the time. Even myself and Brett will find ourselves practicing things too fast.
Always.
The counting bit sometimes feels more difficult at first, as Karen mentioned, but if you get good at counting, then you're able to actually understand, am I playing it in the right places, okay? And something that's not mentioned with this stuff here is that if you're still not sure if you're playing it right, you can film yourself and watch it back. Fortunately, we now have smartphones, and it's so easy for us to do that. And you're better off spending 2 minutes playing, recording, and a minute watching back than just playing it wrong for 10 minutes. So, that's something just to add on that.
Yeah, it's completely correct. I mean, making sure, first of all, when you're breaking it down and having that intellectual understanding of where the notes are placed, really just ensures that you're going to be able to, well, like Chris said, learn it correctly and make sure that it also just makes it easier to translate into your muscle memory. But yeah, that's fantastic. Mark, how's it going there with the most recent groove that we were looking at? 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4.
Yeah. Personally, I have problems in counting out loud. Like it's almost a 5th limb I have to control. So when I hear it, I can play it. If I read thoroughly, then I slowly can read it. But to count it out loud myself, I really have problems doing that.
I have the same problem, Mark, but Chris and Brett have made me get over it to some degree.
Didn't give him a choice.
and actually, Mark, that might continue forever to some extent, right? So I still will have to count something and find it harder to coordinate and add that 5th limb in, so to speak, for sure. Okay, I'm not saying it doesn't have a degree of more difficulty in terms of how much your brain has to compute. But if you're counting out loud and you get very good at it, the more you practice it, like anything else, the more comfortable it becomes. If you're doing it out loud, eventually you get so comfortable with doing that it's almost like a third person counting next to you. Right, and you can stop thinking so much about it, and it will become more natural over time. Okay, and it's one of those things that is tricky, but it's just another muscle that we have to train, and over time it will make it easier for sure. And there's loads of great drummers out there that don't count ever and have never counted. Sure, 100%. But when we start to need to break things down and we get stuck, it is going to be one of the ways that there are other things as well. We can kind of say it out loud as well, but that's pretty hard to do as well. But yeah,
It goes both ways, right? You can learn by counting, but you can also break down something that you can already play by counting it out loud and just make sure that you understand it correctly. And I mean, counting isn't something that you're going to do all the time, especially when you're playing things that are at the higher complexity range of what you're actually able to play. That's when it's the most difficult to count. And generally, you want to be listening more than you're actually speaking in your head when you're playing, right? You want to more feel the rhythms, but the easiest way that I found to get there is to count it, So it's just a very useful skill.
Yeah.
But that all being said, I didn't ask you if you can play it. So regardless of whether you're counting out loud, were you able to get the rhythm?
Yeah, try it.
So it's a very cool groove. If you notice, you see, and this is actually, this kind of highlights the point, right? Is that the kick drum that you're placing on beat number 4 is actually, yeah, thanks, Chris, is actually on the
4E.
E.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is a very cool, like syncopated kind of groove. But yeah, on the and, do you want to give it a try again?
Okay. Okay.
We're coming in an 8th note too soon.
So, Mark, so this one,
Super
okay,
cool, bud.
and this is, yeah, you've got a cool groove going on, which is great, okay, and
In
this is
7/4 actually, which is sick. It's one of those classic cases. I always steal my students' grooves, man, and apply. I'm taking that one. Thank you.
That's gonna
Call me
impress
Danny
me
Carey.
some. But this is a perfect example of why then the counting will be valuable here. And what's happening again is you've got some muscle memory going on where you want to do this, okay?
Yeah.
And this is going to be where now we break it down, right? So let's just do the same thing as Steve. Let's do it again. Just
from
play
beat
for
3.
me 4 and by itself, counting out loud. Just 4 and. Let's just try that.
Oh, I'm a 4 and 4 is the snare.
4 and that's hi-hat.
So the hi-hat is 8 notes, right?
Yes.
Correct.
4 and.
Good, and then you stop, and then you don't loop it. 4 and stop. So I'll show everybody a kind of way that I would practice this. Okay, so just give me 2 seconds to kind of demonstrate this. Let's put this into 2/4. Don't get too confused by this. It's just more about how I practice it. So what I would do is, let's just say that's there for argument's sake, right? This is what we were working on. Okay, you'd have a beat where 1 and 2 and pause and 2 and, yeah, and you'd pause it, not looping it continuously to give yourself a little bit of a break. Okay, so just try going like 4 and pause and 4 and pause like that. Oh, we've muted for some reason there, Mark.
You didn't mind. 4 and. Oh. 4 and. Oh, I'm out of counting.
And
4 and.
Good, exactly. And this is why I wanted to do this.
I can't keep counting, yeah.
No, I get it. And this is fine, guys. And this, so Mark, you see what Steve did there? Yeah. He's had a whole bunch of practice at this, right, Steve? This is not the first time we've ever done this. I've made you do it multiple times in front of people, many times before. That's the thing that you've got to try and practice, is practicing how to practice correctly. It sounds really silly, I get it, but you get that down, then it will make things easier, right? So at first, it's quite difficult to do that. I totally appreciate that, but as you get more confident with it, you'll be able to break it down, and that's why the counting is really important. Okay, so 4 and stop. Cool, I get that. Yeah, 4 and just get that particular muscle memory down. So just try it a couple more times.
4 and.
Good, and stop. Take a breather, reset, and then do the same thing again.
4 and.
Good, and stop. So now, every time you're doing it, you're getting it right. Okay, you're now getting that correct muscle memory for this groove. And then if we added in, I think it was 3 and just by itself though, just beat 3, just try that.
3 and.
Yeah, and it has the kick on the so 3 and with the kick by itself.
3 and.
That's it, exactly, yeah, and the same, and then actually count the 3
Right.
and
3 and.
Good, and stop. And don't play anything else yet, okay? Yeah, it said 3 and
3 and. No. 3 and.
Good, and stop, and then go a little bit slower, 3 and ah.
3 and
Good. Okay. Now, I would say if you're by yourself, practice that for a few more minutes each. Okay, but just for a bit of fun, let's see if we can put the two together. Okay, so you're going to go 3 and 4 and. Okay, so just try that. Just see if you can do it all together. And don't worry if the timing goes a little bit out at this point, guys. It's just to get in the order of the notes. So 3 and snare and. Yeah, just see if you can put that together like that.
3 and
And stop there, perfect. So now can you see you just played that right? Now you play that a whole more bunch of times right, and you'll put the whole thing together. I promise you, if we spent 5 more minutes on that, you play the whole groove. Okay, and again, the reason why I've jumped in and broken this down for you guys is because everyone watching this is how you need to practice. I promise you, if you get good at doing it like this, you'll be able to take any of these grooves and break them down and work on them. Yeah, and that's the methodology behind the practice. And then you can play that groove, that specific groove that you want to play. So you've all got the capability of doing it. I've not made you play that. You've just broken it down in the right way. So that's the thing that's important there. Cool. All right, Brett. Sorry, I'll hand it back over to you to wrap it up.
No worries. It's really important. It's really important. Like you say, it's the correct methodology, and it's in knowing, like you said, I think the most important thing you said there was learning how to learn properly, right? That is really what it's all about. You need to know that when you sit down at the kit, you're not going to sit there and just struggle your way through everything, and you don't know if you're going to make any progress. When you approach learning drums just the way that, like Chris stepped in and mentioned, when you approach it that way, you know that you're going to make progress, and that's the most important thing, right? You don't want to sit down and struggle and feel like, I'm not getting any better at this. Well, use this methodology and actually stick with it, and you will get better. That's the point.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And we've done this hundreds, if not thousands of times with students. It's not like, oh, this kind of might work a little bit. It works. You know, you've just got to be really with yourself. Go, no, I need to slow. And if you're not sure, again, film it and watch it back, because you'll soon realise you're playing about 50 or 60% faster than you thought you was. Yeah, really pulling it right back and kind of breaking it down like that.
yeah.
So,
And I think just one other thing to mention as well is with those songs, that step where you take some time and you listen to the music and you're trying to figure out just by listening where those notes are placed is also a really important step to take, right? At some point you're going to want to listen to something and try and learn how to play it, or maybe at some point you want to play with another musician, right? And you're giving them time, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you ask them to give you a bass line, right? And you want to play along with that. It's going to be really beneficial when you know, oh, he's playing it on the 1, 2, 3 and 4 and I can hear where it's being placed. Okay, well now all of a sudden I can actually play with another musician because I understand where everything is, right? So it really helps in that process. And like I mentioned at the beginning, that's why we want to learn this exact process, to get us playing with other musicians or just learning songs, our favorite songs, as quick as possible, right? That's the idea.
and it's basically just to wrap what Brett's saying there. It's just like learning the language. We're just learning the verb tables and putting the construction of the sentence together, right? That's all that's happening here. And yes, the question is always, well, when you get into a band environment, you're jamming, do you sit there going 1 E and out to the whole band? No, but
Hopefully
the point
not.
is at that point you've done it so many times. You know if you're in the present tense, you know if you're talking in the future, you can just do it, and you become quote unquote fluent with it, right? Because it becomes more of a natural instinct at some point. You'll just repeat the patterns back, and if you needed to, you could reverse engineer it. When me and Brett are playing a lot, are we thinking about, are we on the E of 3 and this? No. But if we then needed to go back and work it out, because maybe we added a level of complexity and that was messing us up, then yeah, we could do that and reverse engineer it to figure out the coordination, right? So that's all it is. Because I know that's the big thing. It's like, obviously, yeah, we're on stage, you're not shouting out the counting. Well, I am if I'm in 7/8. That's definitely, I'm doing that. That's
We all are, Chris. That's not uniquely you.
Yeah. Cool. All right, look, so Brett has put together an ebook for this. It'll be coming out in a couple of days or so. I'm not sure exactly when, but this will be, for those of you on YouTube, if you go through to the links you've been sent, you can go and get that ebook. anyone's here, you'll get sent this afterwards anyway. So you'll have the stuff that we got written out, and there's actually a few extra ones to work on as well, songs to listen to with some scores. So you've got all of that
100%.
there.
Yeah, some 2-bar halftime phrases, you could say, as well as just some other 2/4 backbeat grooves that don't have backing tracks, but will be worth the time to actually invest and try get your kick drum placed. They don't all have the kick drum starting on 1, so that's a lot of fun. Well, you have to just kind of remember 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and. You just have to ignore the 1, which can be quite tough.
And the last thing I wanted to say, just as a little plug, on Facebook, we have the drum support group. So if you want to get feedback, I know Steve, you're in there. Alexandra, I'm not sure if you're in there yet. I can't remember if you managed to get in there. But do go and check that out. I'm just going to put the link in the chat now, if I can find it, which is not coming up. Ooh, the drum support group, here we go. And again, the same, I'll put it on YouTube, so you guys have got that there. Somewhere here. Why is that not coming up? Groups, here we go. And you just got to answer a couple of questions, and then we'll let you in, and you can, we've got, how many people we've got in there? Now, 2,100. So there's a few people in there, and you can get some feedback from other drummers, and I think it's important to share your journey with other people, right? And it's really useful to see, and it's useful for other people to see where you're at and what you're doing. So if you put your videos in there, we'll get back to you with some feedback when we can as well. So any stuff you've been working on today, feel free to drop it in there.
Definitely. Are there any questions? Does anyone have any good jokes?
Steve's got a joke, I think.
Yeah, I can see
So-
Steve's got a joke. He's laughing already.
So maybe some advice, and when you start learning, what to do first, like right from the scratch. So it's best to just play some money beat and start counting to that, or I don't know.
Yeah. Well, look, at the beginning, I think it's tough, right? I've always thought to myself, what does someone do the first time they sit down and they're gonna play this instrument, right? You just kind of start hitting stuff. But yes, the money beat is generally the go-to, right? It covers a lot of ground. You've got the 8th notes on the hats, you got 2 and 4 on the snare, and you're incorporating your kick drum. I do think, personally, that learning some basic grooves like the money beat, while also developing an intellectual understanding, learning how to understand rhythm, for me is the best place to start. I know that not everybody goes around playing drums or learning drums that way, and there are some fantastic drummers out there who never learned how to read music. I just think that it's the swiftest or the easiest way to do it. Right? It's like learning a language but not being able to read or write the language, in my opinion.
Did you mean
You
how
have
to
any take
start
on that,
counting though, Mark?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Some exercises in regards to counting.
Ah.
Like you would start, with the hands and your other limbs on drum pads. You start doing paradiddles and stuff, and like just to train your 5th limb, so
Yeah.
to say. In regards to counting, I don't know, some advice, like in front of the TV or listening to songs and starting counting with it, or I don't know, what's the most efficient way to learn it?
Yeah, well, I think it depends what you're trying to learn how to count. So if you're looking to get tempo, like to get comfortable keeping tempo, listening to music and just counting along 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be the best way to go about that. But if you're looking to learn how to count while you're playing,
Yes, that's
what you really want to do is get comfortable with subdivision, right? So 8th notes or 16th notes. In fact, there's an excellent
Just
exercise
scoring it
that
out
Chris,
right now. Yeah, I'm already on
Yeah,
score.
there's
I'm
an-
doing the score. I'm trying to find. I couldn't find a pre-existing link, but I'm doing it.
There's a great. I'll plug it for you. It's called the Matrix. There's this exercise, right, where you go through the 16th note subdivision, and so let's say you've got the 1, the E, the and the of the 16th note subdivision, and essentially you just do a bar of each with your kick drum. So as a demonstration, if I take it slow, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Now notice it's almost instinctive when I'm placing my kick drum on those specific beats. I'm accenting them with my voice even. 1 E and 2 E and. This, I mean, you can adapt this in a million ways. You could do it as snare accents, 1 E and a 2. But the best way, for what I think, again, is we want to learn how to groove. So there we go. You just do that with the groove. Run through that. Bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. There are more steps that we can take. It's not just about what we practice. How we practice is far more important. So you can manipulate that exercise, but that's probably the best place to start.
Also, if you want to get comfortable with counting, take things that you already know and just count over the top of it. So because you just want to get comfortable with the process of counting, take some grooves or songs that you know and just try and count over the top of them. And if it's eighth notes, count the eighth notes and just count and see if you can keep that going. If it's got the 16th notes, try and add the 16th notes in. Where, like Brett said, if it's on the E's, 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and practice it like that. I think there's one other exercise that's really good that we'll add, and this then gets you more into the time inside, but is going between the different subdivisions, quarters, eighths, 16ths, for example. So you get the understanding of going between those different ones as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, and just playing that with singles and going through that as well and getting comfortable with that is going to be useful, I think.
I think my advice from someone who's really bad at counting but trying is to count when you've got a groove or a part that you're struggling with, and do it slowly, because then you start to see that it's actually quite valuable to count. So it gives you a bit of motivation to count elsewhere. So I think that's the only reason that I attempt to count, is because I've found it useful when I've tried and persisted and got there. And then the other thing for me would be that the matrix exercises. The one I really like is there's this exercise, kind of 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1E, a 2E, a 3, a 4E, and a E and a E. But I find it hard still to count and do it at the same time. But it feels good, right? When you get it going, you've got that 1E and 2E and then 1 and a 2. It kind of beds it in rhythmically, at least.
That's a really good one, Steve.
Links the sonic and the
because you actually what you're doing there, you've got the kick and then you've got the thing going on over the top, and then you've got the different types of patterns that you're talking about, and that's kind of helping. It's one step up almost from what I was saying, just where those things are. But that's great. That's a really good one. Yeah, I can write that one out. I think Brett's probably already got that written out. Brett, maybe add that in.
100%.
Yeah, that's cool. Sweet.
Yeah. Otherwise,
all good.
I think just thank you for being here, I think is the last thing to say. And Steve, I appreciate it. It's actually really nice. It's so valuable to hear from someone who's going through the process right now, of getting comfortable with counting. It can sometimes be difficult from our perspective, but nice one there. Thanks.
No worries.
It's cool. Mark, if you want us to send you a couple of books as well that we've got, just send it to the email address that you've got. I've got a couple here that I can send back to you. Just send it over and we'll respond with a couple of books you can practice counting over the top of.
All right. So, or can I download it? I'm registered like in the free section, sort of.
Yeah, there even will be in that free section, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just email us, we'll send you the link for that. There's a whole section of that stuff to download. Yeah.
Okay, cheers for that.
No, that's all good. Perfect.
Thanks,
Right.
everyone.
For adding in these exercises. Chris, will we just... I guess you'll add them in now, after. No,
Now. Yeah.
sure. Laka, guys, thanks so much. I will see you all. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers, Brett. Thanks, Chris. Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.
I think when Steve was playing there, he had echo coming